We are back now with our big board. We got our legal team here, Dan Abrams and Sonny Hostin. They're at the table to break down this morning's top stories. We're going to start with new claims in the wrongful death suit of Paul Walker, the Fast and Furious star, died in the 2013 car crash. Now, court documents allege Porsche, the maker of the car, purposely hid damaging evidence, including emails. And Dan, according to new documents filed in the lawsuit, in an email from 2006, a Porsche employee joked about reports of his car's high crash rate and how that made the value of the remaining cars increase. And what could be the fallout from this?
Well, basically what Walker's family is saying is this is critical evidence that makes our case stronger. Another quote that was uncovered was total worldwide production of the Carrera GT was 1280, and to date over 200 of them were already totaled. Basically, the family is saying, look, this is stuff we ought to have had. How could they have hidden this from us? They're now asking for sanctions. Now, that could range from money to saying we should win this case. So this is a big deal, in particular because the driver of the car already sued Porsche and lost. Judge threw it out, said, you know what? There's no evidence here that it's Porsche's fault. The family of Paul Walker would say his situation is different because he was in the passenger seat, and as a result, there are different legal issues with regard to the car, et cetera.
Well, and it's interesting, Sonny, because these types of cars can go up to 200 miles per hour. But then how does the law distinguish between the driver's responsibilities and the car's capabilities?
Well, I think the law looks at it by case by case by case by case. And in this case, you have to determine who made the mistake. Was it the car company or was it the driver? If you look at the evidence so far, the LA County Sheriff's Department, California Highway Patrol, they both conducted investigations. They found that the car was going 94 miles per hour. They're saying it's the speed of the car, not the car.
Well, I guess the biggest question is, do you think that this will go to trial? Being that the driver's family already, the case was thrown out, do you think that they'll take this to trial, or do you think there'll be a settlement?
Before these things came out, I would have said, I think that the best shot for Porsche is to get the case thrown out. With these new emails, this could force a settlement on the part of Porsche.
Oh, I completely disagree. I mean, I think we're talking about a little girl, 15-year-old, who lost her dad. And when it comes to emotion, you take your lawyer hat on, you put your daughter hat on, your parent hat on. I think this is a case that definitely goes to trial. She wants her day in court.
They need to get past the judge first.
Yeah.
All right. Now we're going to move on to a heated divorce debate. A Texas lawmaker, Matt Krause, sparking controversy by proposing a new bill that would repeal no-fault divorces, making it more difficult for couples to end a marriage. And, Sonny, I just want to say, personally, there's no such thing as an easy divorce.
Sure,
and I just think that's a very important point to make. There's no such thing. But in his statement, he said proving an easy way out of marriage greatly undermines the institution. So first talk about the difference between a no-fault and a fault divorce.
Okay, so you have to determine who is responsible for ruining the marriage in a fault divorce, right? And so
no irreconcilable differences.
Right, who is to blame? And some of the reasons are adultery, mental or physical abuse, abandonment, even someone that goes to prison, has a prison record. In a no-fault divorce, no blame is placed on anyone. And so irreconcilable differences, perhaps, you get out of the marriage.
So a fault divorce, you have to probably air some dirty laundry, you know, to say the least.
Well, yeah. And listen, the bottom line is a marriage is a contract. What contract can you get out of just for no reason at all? You have to have a reason, or you should. I think you should have a reason.
I think the idea of making it harder to get out of a marriage, basically this lawmaker is trying to make it 180 days instead of 60 days, trying to make it so you have to give specific, to drag kids through that and drag parents through that and say, you know what, we're going to make it that much harder. We're talking about adults here. This notion that the government is going to be able to tell you, well, you know what, take some more time because we're going to make it that much harder.
Shouldn't it be more difficult to get out of a marriage when there are kids involved? The sanctity of a marriage.
And by the way, I'm just going to say this because if you have a no-fault divorce, you then literally have to make up a reason. Sometimes there just isn't a reason. Sometimes the reason is you just fell out of love. And you know what? That's okay. And I don't need a Texas lawmaker to sanction his morality on me or anyone else.
But what contracts? Legal contracts, can you think of that you can get out of for no reason at all?
No reason at all.
Let's agree.
But if both people want out.
But let's agree that this is a different kind of contract, all right? Let's agree that marriage isn't like every other contract. It's not like a business deal.
It's probably a more important contract.
And as a result, not dragging kids through a lengthy process of fighting over how to get out of it, to me seems like, and
Michael,
by the way,
you've been quiet.
I'll tell you right now, because watching the argument about a fault and no fault divorce makes you realize how hard divorce is on everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, personally, I've been there. It's not an easy situation. The last thing you want to put your kids through.
Agreed. We can all agree on that.
We can agree on that.
Absolutely.